Building an augmented reality with layers using Luminar Neo is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm glad you could join us here for this coffee break. Now, I love this image. Let me show you the before and after of it. So here's the original image. Look at this. And this is what we created. Now, remember, we've talked about this many a times. When you're looking at an image, don't look at what you see, but what you want it to be. So that's the power of Neo right now, is photos as you imagine them. So with this here, I did do a lot of work on this background layer. So I'm going to show you, I'll hide these layers up here. And let's focus on the bottom layer right here. So here's before, here's after, and if we look over at the edits, you notice up on top here, it tells us there's 14 of them. So there's 14 edits that I did to create this particular, let's put it here. So to create this particular scene, I used 14 tools or 14 edits to get to this point. I'll come back to this because that's not our topic today. Our topic is how do we incorporate these layers to bring our vision to life, all right? So let's jump over to here. Notice on this particular layer, I did add a glow effect, and the glow effect is just very subtle. Let me show you. Let me see if I can hide it for you. And actually, you know what? I took the amount off. So, yeah, so you know what? I could delete that. So I didn't do anything on that layer, but what I did do is with the layers property, two key elements here. One, this is what it looks like originally. Notice it's on a PNG, so I don't have the background or the background showing through. So we want to change that to screen. And now the second most important part of this is, look at this. This is the opacity at 100%. By dialing it back a bit, what we're doing is we're letting the lower layer, this layer right down in here, the house or the church, to shine through to give the tone the same as the tone of the image itself. Then come along the birds. Now with these birds, since they're on its own layer, and again, I could use any of the tools, but here, if you notice, I didn't. So I didn't have to use any of our tools to add to these birds. The only thing I did was I took the birds themselves, let's crop it, is with the birds, let me get to that layer, there we go. I scaled them down in such a way, so this way we were able to put them over the moon, and position them into place, all right? Now, in doing that, how did I get this? Well, I clicked on the plus icon, and then from here, I browsed my computer for those particular images, and as I showed you, let me get back to my photography. So here's my folder of all my images, and under assets, I have sky objects. And then under sky objects, this is where I put the moon and the birds. So now I know exactly where to go to add those to my images. And when I did that, this is the final result. All right? So once again, building that augmented reality, what we need to do with layers is position them in such a way that we're building upon each of the steps. Now, if I were to put the moon, let's say up front, and I can rearrange these, notice the birds are being hidden or look dull behind the moon. That's because the moon is replacing whatever the bottom layer is. In this case, it's the birds. So I'm going to move the birds back up where they belong, and now they're on top. So layer order is very important. All right? Well, guys, there we have it. let me open up the floor for discussion. Fire away, Carl.
If you have any questions, go ahead and either raise your hand, we'll get to you in order, or go ahead, Harvey, ask your question.
Yes.
Finelli, how did you get the building to be lit in front?
Okay, so that's a separate tutorial which we'll go through during the Ask Me Anything segment. But just briefly, let me hide these layers here. All right. Now notice, by the way, if you look on the bottom here, I wish I had a zoom in tool to show you. If it's selected, you can see the glow around it. That means that's the layer where. Oh, thank you. I pulled it, Angela, again. There we go. All right, so I hit these layers right here. Thank you, guys. Notice the bottom layer right here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a box around it, so it's telling me this is selected. All right. So, and again, we'll go through this with the Ask Me Anything question, but I'll take you through. Here's the develop, and I'll step up. Here's enhance, structure. So far, everything I'm doing is global. All right. So I'm making a global change to everything. Now that church was just killing me with the color. So now is where we introduce the tool mask. So we added a tool mask to start bringing out the color in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Then the vignette brought everything in tight. And notice I did use the inner light tool. Look at this. That right there started my sequence of getting that church lit.
Mm-hmm.
Then the relight tool was huge. And I think it was Kurt's advice. Where instead of attacking or using the relight tool in its entirety, I just used the near, did a little bit of the far, but watch this. Look at that. So instead of doing it all in one shot, I did it in pieces, then added structure again, and look how it's bringing out the church. Then did a little bit of erasing. Oh, you know what the erase was? The erase was dust spots, believe it or not. So when I started working with this, I realized there was dust spots. Then brought back the development again. This is where I increased exposure. And once again, added a layer mask to get this area in here. Back to the relight tool again. This time, bringing light back to the subject and using a layer mask. Our favorite tool, and then mood to tie everything in, and I use that to get rid of some of the color cast. Now, what I could do, one more step, is notice right here, when we add the moon and the birds, well, light's got to be showing somewhere, so this is being lit because of the moon. What I could do is make a path of light going up to the door to make it look like the moon is lighting this path up to the door itself. All right. So I'll do a full tutorial on that on another day, but most importantly, the layers is what we wanted to attack. All right, Carl?
Joe Aldrich, you had a question? No, you lowered your hand.
Never mind. He covered it.
All right.
Gotcha.
And then Richard asked in the chat, when do you get rid of the sensor spots or the dust bunnies? Do you do it early or do you do it late?
In that case, I didn't notice it until the edit brought it out. So I didn't realize I had sensor spots on this or dust spots. I wish I took the photo. Until the very end or towards the middle of it is when I saw them. I was like, oh man. And I ran it. Boom. It was beautiful.
Okay, Tom Bond, go ahead.
When you were on the original layer, you did a before and after. I did not see the button that you used to do that.
Oh,
or how
gotcha.
you do that.
All the way down here at the bottom, and I'm going to put a spotlight tool on my mouse. On the very bottom, remember it used to be up in the top corner? Here is the preview icon.
Angela?
Benelli.
Oh,
share
thank
screen,
you.
please.
Thank you, guys. So on the very bottom of the screen, here's a preview button right here.
Okay. It's just off of the visual screen in the Zoom image, so I couldn't see it. But I see the top of, just the tippy top of it now. Yes, thank you.
Gotcha. That's good to know. All right. Anything else, Carl?
Nothing in the chat.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to end the segment for this right now, but please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. All right? Well, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.